Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have seen that how to design this login page, and also we have seen how to connect the application with the SQL database. And we have also designed this stuff. Let me just log in. And when we log in, we go to the admin dashboard, and we have designed this in the previous video. So if you haven't watched the previous video, then just go to description. There I put the link to my previous video, and for the every images and icons, I have already put the link in the description to download all the icons. So just start development in parallel. So in this video, we are going to start code for this one, that is add employee. And next thing, what we are going to do is we are going to make this logout and exit button functional. And we are also going to set a background image into this one as shown in the quick overview. So let's start with that. So first thing, what we have to do is, let me just stop this one. First thing what I have to do is just go to the Solution Explorer, and here we have to create one folder. So right click on this, click on add and click on new folder, and I'm going to give it a name, images, like this one. After this, what I'm going to do is, okay, not over here. Yeah, okay, just this is good. Next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one class, that is utility class. Right click on this, click on add and click on class, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to give it a name that is utility, and add it. And here we go. Now we have one utility class. So inside this one, first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to write one method. What it will does is, let me just tell you. So public static void, and sorry, not void. This is going to, let me just increase the size a little bit. Public static void, and this is going to return a string, and I'm going to give it a name, get image store path, and this will be the image name. This will simply return application dot startup path, not this one, application actually. Let me click on this one, full qualified name, not this. So hover over this one, and this one, using system Windows form application. Application dot startup path. Inside this one, we will use the substring, and from here we will pass 0, comma, and the second one will be application dot startup path dot length -10 plus, and whatever the folder name which we have created, that is images / plus, and the image name, and finally that image type JPEG. So what this one is going to do is, it's going to put the startup path, that is this one, wherever this folder is stored, and this actually give a longer length than this one. It goes to debug folder. So I will show you what exactly this one returns, and we are actually subtracting last 10 characters, and after that concatenating the images folder. After subtracting, we move back over here to this get pass generate video folder, and there we have one images, and whatever the images it contains, it will return whatever the name you will pass into this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back over here, and I'm going to copy these two images, and I'm going to paste it in my project. So move back over here, just click on this one, open folder in File Explorer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just paste two images over here. So just refresh it, and here you can see this. Now we have this two images. So let me just close this, and let me close this one too. Just save it and close it. After that, what we have to do is we have to move to this admin stuff. And here, when we double click on this empty space, this will generate a dashboard load event. And here, what we have to do is, whenever we pass from the login page to this one, we already have passed the role stuff, right? Next thing here, what I want to do is I want to set the images, right? And I also want to set the label into this one, because I'm going to use the same dashboard for admin and employee. In the case of admin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show welcome admin. In the case of employee, I'm going to show you employee dashboard. So just click on this, go to this properties, and here I'm going to change the label name, that is the ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a name, label welcome text, like this one. Now move back to this over here, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a variable, so background name, and here I'm going to check if admin dot equals role. Let me quickly open my database so that I can show you what exactly in the DB the role is stored. Okay, so my database is opening, and in meanwhile what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put something over here. In the else case, we have to do another stuff. In the case of admin, what I want to do is I'm going to set employee toolstrip menu dot visible is equal to true. Okay, after this what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a background name. So background name will be, background image name will be get pass bg1. This is the image name, right? After this, in the else condition, and also what we are going to do is we're going to set the label, right? So label welcome text dot text is equal to admin dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type something wrong like this, so that you can uniquely identify that yes, the text is changed, because we have already set admin welcome admin over here. Okay, so that is welcome admin. So I'm going to change this one to admin dashboard. Okay, in the else condition, I'm going to set the background image, the background name, that is that image name actually. So for this one, I'm going to set get pass bg2, like this one, and I'm going to set the label welcome text dot text is equal to employee dashboard, like this one. Now this is not going to set the image, right? So for that, what we have to do is we have to create an object of image. Image is equal to image from file. Inside this one, we have to pass utility which we have created dot get image from stored path, and we have to pass the image name, that is the background name basically. After this dot background image is equal to image, we are going to set it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it in a stretched way. So for that, this dot background image layout, this one, to image layout dot stretch something like this, and now save this. After this, let me just start this and let's see if this works or not. So I'm going to put admin and pass and login, and here you can see this is admin dashboard. So what we have to do is we have to change the background color for this one to transparent. So let me do that quickly, and my database is open, so let me just connect it and let me open that file. If I move back over here and execute this query over my database, that is get pass, and click on execute, here you can see this is admin is in caps, ADMIN. If you added this one in small, then you have to put this exactly same this one over here in order to make this work, this one. Okay, so let me just move back over here, click on this one, go to properties, and let me just put it over here. The next thing what you have to do is just change this back color, click on this one, web, make this one transparent and save it, and let's start my application and try this once again. So admin and pass, let's log in, and here you can see this, now this one is good. Next thing what you have to do is the text is being changed. So what I'm going to do is delete this extra D from the last, and also we are going to see for the admin, for the employee actually. Okay, so just move back to the code, and here I'm going to just delete this much stuff, admin dashboard. Okay, and we don't need this one. Okay, so let me just move back over here and let's see one employee, that is Alok. This one I have previously added, so not to worry about that. I'm going to show you how to add the employee. Okay, so let me just minimize it. Let me just start my application, and we're going to log in with Alok and Alok. And I log in, and here you can see that this is employee dashboard. But the thing is, whenever this employee dashboard is there, then what I want to do is I want to hide this stuff, that is the employee button, because for the employee I don't want to give them permission to show this employee stuff. Okay, so let me just close this and close this one, and if I move back over here, click on this, and let me check the ID for this one. That is employee toolbar menu item. So let me just move back over here. Okay, not over here. It was this one. Okay, yeah. Employee tool strip menu item visible. Let me just move back away and just paste it and just change this one to false. So what this will do is this will hide that menu strip whenever we are logging as employee. So I'm going to log in as employee, Alok, and just log in. And here you can see this, now that employee part is gone. Okay, next thing what we have to do is we have to make that logout and exit button functional, right? For that, what we have to do is just move back over here to the dashboard part, just click on this one, and I'm going to change the name for this one too. Okay, so we're going to change this one to btn log out. Menu strip, something like this. Okay, sorry. So actually project is already started, so that's why we can't able to change the name. So just click on this one, btn log out. Now ID for this one is changed, and for this one btn exit. Just double click on this, and here what we have to do is we have to write the code to log out, and for the exit we also need to exit my application. If I move back to this exit button, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write if. We are going to first ask that, are you sure you want to exit? So message box dot show, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write you want to exit, and this is the confirmation message. And inside this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one button for message box yes and no, and also I'm going to show a warning icon logo. Okay, so message box icon dot warning, and whenever user select on yes, so for that dialog result dot yes, if user has selected yes, in that situation what I want to do is I want to simply close the application. So application dot exit. Let me just start my application and let's see if this works or not. So admin, pass and login, and if I click on this, and here you can see this, are you sure you want to exit? If I click on no, nothing happens, but if I click on yes, the application is closed. Next thing what we have to do is we have to code for the logout. So inside this logout, what we have to do is we have again ask for the confirmation. So message box dot show you want to log out question mark, and this is a confirmation message, and message box buttons will be yes or no, or you can change the name to yes and cancel. This is all your choice. And again after this I'm going to set an icon for this one, message box icon to warning, and we are going to set a dialog result dot yes. After this, if the yes is selected, in that situation what I want to do is I want to move from admin dashboard to login page. For that I'm simply going to type this dot hide, and our login page form name is form 1. So form 1 is equal to new form1. We are now creating the object for that, and form1 dot show. So let me start my application and let's see if this works. So I'm going to log in as an employee. So Alok and Alok, click on this one. Here you can see this. Are you sure you want to log out? And here you can see this, the visitor is over here, add employee is hidden. So click on yes, and now I'm going to log in as admin and admin. Okay, bad credentials. Okay, so the password is pass. So log in, and here we go. Again, we have this logout page. So now the login as employee and login as admin is working. Next thing what we have to do is we have to start the designing of that add employee, right? For that, what we are going to do is we are going to move back to our application. Let me just close this. Yes. And let me close all of this stuff. After this, we have to move to the solution explorer. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new form. That will be the employee form, right? So right click on this, click on add, click on Windows form. And here what I'm going to do is this form. And here I'm going to add a add employee. Click on add, and this will add a new form over here. So inside this one, first thing, we want to remove that form border style. For that, we just minimize this one and move back to over here, form border style. Just change this one to none. Form border style is gone. Next thing, we want to change the back color to white. So select this back color, click on this one, custom, and select white. After this, move back to below, and here I'm going to set the size for this one. So for me, it's 1342. You want to change the size as per your choice, then you can do that easily. So click on this, and here you can see this, the form size is like this. After this, whenever we open this application, whenever this form needs to be opened, I want to open it in the center of the screen. For that, start position, just change this one to center screen and save it. After this, what we have to do is just move back to the top, and everything is, yeah, good. Let me just open this, and let me open the form, this one. And here from, we are going to copy some of this stuff like these, all items. Just copy this, move back to this one and paste it over here. Move to the top, put this one to the corner, and I'm going to change some properties of this one from text alignment center to left. And after this, what we are going to do is we are going to need one button over here. So I'm going to search, go to the toolbar, and inside the toolbar, we are going to see for the buttons. Just drag and drop it over here. Just make this one a little bit larger like this. After this, we are going to set some properties for this one. So we just move back over here, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the flat style from standard to pop-up. After this, I'm going to change the back color for this. So back color, I'm going to change this one to 0,118,225 and hit enter. Now the color, back color is changed. After this, we want to change the font for this one. So select this one, change the font to Calibri, and I'm going to change this one to 12. Click on OK. And after this, what I'm going to do is, okay, so we also need to select this one as bold. Yeah, now this one is good. After this, I'm going to change the color for this one to white. Now the color is changed. After this, I want to set an image inside this one. So click on this, local resources, click on import, and let me just select the image, correct image for this one. Where is this save image? Yeah, this one. Go on OK. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the text alignment to this one, start. And we also need to set the image, this button size. Okay, so for that, I'm going to set this one to 118,44 and hit enter. Now the size is this one. And let me just set the text alignment to right. So text alignment, select this one to right side. And I want to change the text to save. Now this one is ready. Next thing, I want to change the ID for this one. So btn save. Okay. After this, what we have to do is we have to put this all in the proper position. So move back over here, just put this one like this, and let me just make this one a little bit smaller. And after this, we need one date time picker. For that, just go to the toolbar, go to this one, date time picker. So drag and drop it over here, make some space for this one, and we also need to change the font for this one. So just click on this calendar font, just change this one to Calibri, select 11, click on OK, and also need to change the font for this one, Calibri and 11 and OK. Here you can see this. Now this one is looking nice. After this, we need to copy and paste this label over here. We will change it with time, don't worry about that. So contact, let me just copy and paste it. We need over here for contact. Again, we need another combo box. So combo box, let me just drag and drop it over here. So for size for this one is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the size for this one 12. So Calibri, select this one to 12 and hit on OK. Let me just stretch this a little bit. Let me just copy and paste it over here. We will change the label in a while, don't worry about that. And after this, we need another one for address. So let me just paste it over here, and we need 4 more on the right side. So let me just add this quickly. Over here. After this, this is username. This one is good, not the username. This one is name basically. So I'm going to put it a name. Change this one to hire date. This one to contact. This one to gender. This one to address. This one to city. This one to state. This one to username. Yeah, this one is good. And this one to password. Okay. After this, what I want to do is I'm going to change the the name for this one. So this is txt name. This one to txt hire date. Not like this one, like this. After this one to txt contact. This one to txt gender. This one to txt address. This one to txt city. This one to txt state. This is already, this one not username. So txt user name, and this one to txt password. Hit enter, and this one is already btn save. And let me adjust the size so that this one is filled properly, that uses the complete space present over the screen. Just move this one to a little bit right, like this one. What I'm going to do is select this all and select this all, not this one. Just make this one a little bit like this. And here we go. Now this one is looking nice. Next thing, we need to change the text over here. So this is not login, this is add employee. So add employee. And as we have copied the name over from the login dashboard, so the name for this one is already btn exit. So if I double click on this, this will generate a btn click event, and I want to close this form. So this dot close. Okay. After this, we move back over here, and first thing what we have to do is we want that whenever we go to the admin page and whenever we click on this one, this button, then we want to open that. So move back over here and add employee tool strip menu item. So add employee to listed menu item. So I'm not going to change the name for this one. So what I'm going to do is just double click on this, not like this, just move back over here, double click on this, and this will generate a click event for us. And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that form. So for that, just move back over here. So first thing, in the previous projects, what we did is whenever we click on button again and again, it repeatedly open the duplicate forms. So in this project, I have restricted that. At one time, you are going to open only one form. So how to handle that? So if application dot open forms dot of type and our form is add employee dot count is equal to 1. In that situation, what I want to do is I want to bring that form to the front. Okay, so I will miss the braces over here. You can see this. So it means that that form is already open. In that situation, I want to bring that form to the front. So open forms dot of type, and so this one we will need to pass that employee, and just like this dot first dot bring to front, like this one. If this is not the case, then in that situation, what I want to do is I want to simply open a form. So add employee is equal to new add employee, and add employee dot show, like this one. And let's start our application and let's see if this works or not. So here, admin, pass, let's log in. And if I click on this and click on this one, and here you can see that this one is open. Now I'm going to add some data and click on this outer space, and here you can see that this form is gone behind this dashboard, right? So how to bring it to front? So again, go over here, click on this, and here you can see this. The same pop-up is over here because we have filled this data and this data is again showing. So it means that we have only one form open, and whenever we click on it, it's bring from back to front. That's it. This is a good way of programming. Okay, after this, let me just close this. After this, we will move back over here. Let me close this one. Let me close this quickly. And if I move back over here, what we have to do is whenever we click on the save button, we want to extract the values from these all text fields, and we want to process that into the database. For that, what we have to do is just double click on this, and this will generate a ptn save click event. And here we are going to perform the operation. So first thing what we are going to do is we are going to put every code in try and catch block. So try, catch, exception, ex, and here what I'm going to do is console dot write line, inside this one whatever exception happens we are going to write over here. So exception in add employee ptn save click plus ex, and we also want to show some message to the user. So message box dot show something went wrong plus ex, and for the message, the error message box name is error, and it needs to contain one button, that is OK, and it needs to contain some icons. So I'm going to set icon message box icon dot error, like this one. After this, what we have to do is we have to move back to this one, the try block, and first we will fetch all the data available in all the text fields, right? So for that, I'm going to create one variable, that is string name is equal to txt name dot text. After this, we have hire date. So string hire date is equal to txt hire date dot text. After this, we have contact. So string contact is equal to txt contact dot text. After this, we have string gender is equal to txt gender dot text. After that, we have address. So string address is equal to txt address dot text. After this, we have city. So string city is equal to txt city dot text. After this, we have state. After this, we have username dot text, and finally we have password. Okay. After this, if this is not the case, it means that okay, so this is txt password dot text, and we are going to validate for it if everything contains some data or not. If that is not the case, again we are going to show some message over there. So if not string dot is null or empty, inside this one we will pass the name. After this, we will check for not string dot is null or empty. We are going to check for hire date, like this one. After this, not string dot is null or empty, and we are going to check for contact, like this. After that, I'm going to check for not string is null or empty, that is gender. Not string is null or empty, inside this one we are going to pass address. Not string is null or empty, inside this one we are going to pass city. And not string dot is null or empty, inside this one we will check for state. And not string is null or empty, and this time I'm going to check for username. And not string is null or empty, inside this one we are going to check for password. Okay, so now here we go. We missed one curly braces, like this. Yeah. Like this. Before we go further, what we want to do is we want to actually set this text field. Inside this contact, I want only to add the numbers. I don't want to type string, right? So if I start my application, and let me just move back to this one, admin and pass. Let me log in and move back over here. And here you can see this right now I can type string inside this one. So how to restrict that? We can't able to type string into this one. Only numbers needs to be allowed. For that, let me just move back, and we're going to write one method over here. So go to the Solution Explorer, just open this utility, and here you're going to write some of the methods. One method I'm going to write to actually check for only numbers, and another I'm going to write to check to actually return a unique ID. As in the quick overview, I have shown you how to actually return, how to get a unique ID. That is for visitor, we are generating a unique ID. For the pass, we are generating a unique ID. So for that, I'm going to write over here. So public static void. And first thing, I'm going to restrict only for number. So only number. And this will accept key press event args e, and if not char is control e dot key char, and an not char dot is digit e dot key char, then we simply return e dot handler is equal to true. Next thing, this will handle whenever we enter any string, then this will not let you proceed. Okay, Next thing, we have public static. This will return a string, get unique ID. Inside this one, we will pass string prefix. Okay, long nano is equal to 10,000 L into, I'm going to multiply it with stopwatch dot, we just hover over this one, click on this one, use this stopwatch dot get timestamp. After this, nano slash equals time spam dot ticks per milliseconds, and we will multiply nano equal to 100 L and return prefix plus nano, and this will generate a unique ID from the nano milliseconds. So this will come in picture in next videos, but we are going to use this. Right now, if I move back over here, you can see this. Whenever we want to type anything, we can type into this one. So I'm going to just move back to this events for this text field, and here we search for key pressed. So this one, if I double click on this, this will generate a key pressed event. So here we will need to call utility dot only numbers. Inside this one, we have to pass this key pressed event arg. So we need to pass E over here, and let me just start my application and let's see if this works or not. And here you can see this. If I'm trying to type ABCD, but I can't able to type, only numbers I can type. So let me just exit and move back over here. So let me just close this utility, and now we need to move back to this one. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the condition in the else condition. If any field is empty, then I want to show some message to the user. For that, let me just move back over here, and here I'm going to show a message box dot show fields empty, fill and try again, and the info header will be, the message box header will be information, and message box button dot OK, and message box icon will be information, like this one. Let's start our application. Let's try this, if this one is working or not. You can see this. When I try to save it, you can see this fields empty, and fill and try again. If I fill everything like this, and inside this one we don't have added anything, so I'm going to add it quickly. And if I try to save it, now that message is not being popped up. It means that this one is working fine. So let me just close this, and let me close this and move back over here. Inside this one, now we are going to write the code to actually persist. First, we are going to do is, what we are going to do is, we are going to check for the username. If that username already exists in our database or not, then we persist that user, and then we will persist that employee details into the employee table. So let's start with that. Before we start writing code over here, first thing what we have to do is, we have to create an object of database operations, right? Which we have created this class in the previous video. So if you haven't watched that video, then just go to description and check out the link. This class basically contains all the methods which are required to perform the database operation. So new database operation like this. After this, I'm going to need a variable string query and a data set object ds, like this one. After this, we move back over here. So first thing what we need to do is, we need to convert this contact from string to integer format, because in the table, in the database, you can see we have created this contact as big int. So we need to convert that into the integer format. For that, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a variable int of type int64, and it will be contact int, and int64 dot parse. Inside this one, I'm going to pass the contact. So you must avoid that. If someone is typing character, then that's not possible because we have already restricted that in the txt contact. We can't able to type the character into that one, and we have also checked for null and empty. So this is totally safe. It means that at this point it's not possible that any character enter into this text field or empty space is allowed. So number is only possible. So it can easily be converted into this integer type without any issue. After this, what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to check that if username exists in our database or not. For that, I'm going to write the query over here. So query is equal to select star from app user, where username is equal to like single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, double quotes, and single quotes. Inside this one, we will pass username. And we also make sure that username is enabled. Enabled is equal to 1. After this, ds, we will run this query on the database. So ds, in the data set, we are going to store the output or response of this query. So ds database operation dot get data, and inside this one we have to pass the query. So this method is actually return a data source object, and this ds we have already defined on the top over here. And we have written the query over here inside this one. After this, what we will check is if ds is not equal to null and ds.tables from the 0th table and rows.count is equal to 0, then only we want to perform the remaining operations like adding app user data into the app user table and employee data into the employee table. If this is not the case, it means that user already exists with that username. So in that situation, I'm going to show the message to the user. So message box.show, and I'm going to show the message username already linked with another account like this one. And for this message box, I'm going to set a message box name. So that will be information. And I'm going to set one button for this. So message box button dot OK, and one icon. So message box icon dot information. So let's quickly run this and let's check this. Just let me save it and let me start my application. And inside this one, I'm going to type admin and pass, and let's log in. Move back over here, click on this one, and I'm going to type alloc into this one and random data in all of these. And here you can see this, we don't have this anything in the drop down, so we are going to set that now. So let me just type like this, and if I click on save, and here you can see this username linked with another account. If I type something different, if I try to save it, it's going in the if block, and in the if block we haven't written any logic right now. Okay, so before we write anything inside this if block, what I want to do is I want to just add the item into this one. So click on this one, edit items, and here I'm going to add male, female, and other. Click on OK, and let's check if this one is visible or not. So I'm going to start my application. So admin, pass, login, go over here, click on this one, and if I click on this, here you can see this. Now this one is visible. So that's nice. Next thing, what we have to do is we have to move inside this one, that if block, and here, first thing what we have to do is we have to insert the data into the app user, and then we need to fetch that inserted data, the PK of that data, and persist that data into the employee. So if I move back over here, and in this employee table, you must observe that we have a app user FK which references app user PK. It means that username and password will be saved over here, and this PK needs to be saved over here. So how to do that? Let me just move back over here. First thing what we will do is we will write a query to insert the data into the app user. So insert into app user, that is the table name, and inside this one we need to pass the column names. So if I move back over here, Move back to this one. Username is the column name, upass is the column name, and the user role. These three I want to insert, and you enabled this already. By default, it's true. It means it's 1. So move back over here. Username, comma. After this, we will pass upass, urole, and then we need to pass the values into this one. Single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, double quotes, and single quotes. Inside this one, we need to pass the username. After this, we need to pass the password. After this, we need to pass the role. So my role is employee. Finally, we need to persist it into the database. So database operations start set data, and we need to pass the query into this one, and we need to pass message null. Because at this point, I don't want to show any message because I am persisting this app user. Okay, so in the previous video, I've shown that I have handled that if this is null, then I don't need to show the message. Okay, after this, what I want to do is now I'm assuming that my data is persisted perfectly. After this, we need to fetch that pk, right? So query is equal to select star from app user, where username is equal to single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, single quotes, sorry, double quotes and single quote. So this one we need to pass the username, and after this, and upass is equal to single, double, plus plus, double, single. Inside this one we need to pass the password. So password, and we will check, and u enabled is equal to 1. Now the query is ready. Next thing, we will fetch this data corresponding to this query. So database operation dot get data. Inside this one, we will pass the query. After this, now we have persisted the data, and we have the pk for that. Next thing, finally, what we have to do is we have to insert that into the employee table. So I'm going to write the query for that. Query is equal to insert into employee. Inside this one, we need to pass the column. So column name is ename, hire date, we have contact, we have e-address. Make sure you put exactly same column name whatever is in your database. If you have changed it, then you have to put the updated or changed name over here. So e-address, after this we have city, we have e-state, we have app user underscore fk. After this, we need to pass the values inside this one. So single quotes, double quotes, plus plus, double quotes, and single quotes, because it's a string. So we need to pass the string in this format because it's expect to be in quotes, right? And double quotes and plus plus is for concatenation of a string. After this, we have hire date. So that's also a string. So single, double, plus plus, double, single. Inside this one, we need to pass the hire date. After this, we have contact, so that's not a string. So let me just remove this. Double quotes directly, 2 plus signs, and we need to pass contact int into inside this one. Then single, double, plus plus, double, single. Inside this one, we need to pass the gender. After this, we have address, a single, double, plus plus, double, single. We have address into this one. And finally, after this, we have single, double, plus plus, double, single, and we have city inside this one. After city, we have state. I'm going to pass a state over here. And finally, we have to pass the fk. That's in the data set, right? So that's the integer. So double quotes, plus plus, like this one. ds dot tables, from the table 0 dot rows. We have to get the 0th row and 0th column, and our query is ready, like this one. Here, what we have to do is we have to just simply call this method database operation dot set data. Inside this one, we have to pass the query, and we have to pass the message. Employee added successfully, like this one. And now let's test our application, and I'm going to add some breakpoint over here so that we can see what the queries is being prepared. So let me start my application and admin and pass. Click on this one, add employee. If I try to save it, you can see this fields empty, fill and try again. So emp1, contact number 123120000, something like this. Gender male, India, city ABC, state BCD, username is emp1 and the password is emp1, and save it. And if I move back over here, you can see this query is select a star from app user where username is emp, user password is this. If I move back over here, you can see this, the query which is prepared is this one. This one is empty for now. Move back over here, click on this one, and you can see this, the query is this. If I click on continue, and now if I hover over this and click on this one, and here you can see this app user PK is 9. This is table. So table 0 we have. This is the 0th row and 0th column. So that's why we have written 00 over here. So if I move back away and if I click on this, here you can see this, now the query is ready. So insert into employee, e-name, hire date, like this one, and values. And you must observe that contact is not in the single quotes. It's directly the number over there. So if I move back and just remove these all breakpoints and continue it, here you can see this. Now the employee is added, or I guess something is wrong. So let me just quickly check into my database. Select a star from user, and you can see this emp1 is added. And if I go to the employee section, select a star from employee and execute it, and we don't have this employee over there. We just move back over here and click on this one, save. Okay, emp11, just save it. Okay, something is going wrong. Let me see that quickly. Let me just close this and click on yes, move back over here. And I guess we have made some mistake in this query, right? So insert into employee, e-name, hire date, contact, state, app user FK, values, name, hire date, contact, end, gender, address, city, state, and date. So in the output, we can see that there are fewer columns in the insert specified in the values. The number of values must match the number of columns. So here, I guess we've missed something. 3, 3, 6, 1, 7. If I move back over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 we have missed something over here. So let me check that quickly. E-name, hire date, contact, and we missed the gender. So gender, and okay, not over here. We have to put this before this over here. Gender, like this one. Hire date, contact, gender, e-address, city, e-state, and app user FK. Let's start this my application and try once again. So admin, pass, and it's login into this one. Click on this, and emp99 1 2 3 4 5 0 0 0 0, like this. Mail, India, city ABC, BCD, emp99, and the password is also emp99. And if I save it, you can see this employee added successfully. Click on OK, and we can observe that employee is saved, but these fields are not clear. So before we clear this field on the save click, let's cross verify that if our data is persisted perfectly or not. So if I move back over here, select start from employee, and here you can see this emp99 is over here, and ABC and BCD and app user FK is 11. So cross verify app user FK2. So move back over here, click on this one, and here we have this app user FK, and you can see this we have emp99 and employees persisted. So that one is working fine. Next thing what we have to do is whenever we click on save, I want to clear all these fields. So how to do that? So let me close this application and move back over here, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write one method. So that will be private void clear all fields like this one, and what we are going to do is we are going to clear all the text fields. So first I'm going to clear the name, so dot clear like this one, txt hire date, and this is a date time picker, so I'm going to reset it, reset text, and after this we have contact, so I'm going to clear it. After this we have a gender combo box, so for that combo box doesn't have a clear property, clear methods. For that what we have to do is txt dot selected index is equal to -1, and after that we have txt address dot clear. After this we have to clear the city dot clear. After this we have txt state dot clear, txt username dot clear, and finally we have to clear the password field like this one, and simply call this clear all method after this employees persisted. So let me just call this method and let's test this once again. So start it, admin pass login, and if I click on this one, name emp100, just change the date to this, contact 123450000, something like this, gender female, India, city ABC, BCD or BCZ, emp100, and save it and click on OK, and now you can see this. Now this date is reset to today date and everything is clear. So this is how it works. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, what we are going to do is we are going to learn how to implement this update employee. So till then, take care, and please hit like, subscribe and share with your friends, and please follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching.